From CMC Media, this is Patrick Egan. I'm the publisher of the Agile Journal. Well, there's been a lot of excitement leading up to Agile 2010 this week, and with a lot of good number of product announcements and news from the Agile community. And so today we're joined by Robert Holler, President and CEO of VersionOne, to tell us a little bit about what's going on with VersionOne. So welcome, Robert.
Thanks, Patrick. Good to be here.
So, Robert, can you fill us in a little bit on what's new and exciting at VersionOne?
Sure. So we're real excited about the upcoming conference. We always are. We usually have a number of interesting events going on, during the conference. And in this year, in particular around the product, one of the focuses that we've seen in the industry and that we're kind of aligning along the lines of is kind of a strategic adoption of Agile within organizations. So in particular in this year, some of the things that we'll be announcing include things like product road mapping facilities within the product to align, delivery and strategy, a project workspace capability such that teams can actually, adapt the system to align to their own specific needs and still roll up and report across the enterprise, a Salesforce integration that we're very excited about to kind of open it up to a lot of the help desk systems out there, and then some pretty significant improvements in customer reporting and analytics.
Well, it sounds pretty good. So what really is unique about this whole summer release?
So really the uniqueness revolves around kind of the full life cycle integration of strategic planning into Agile ALM. So for example, with our road mapping facility, which is essentially inside of software companies, inside of many IT shops, there's always this desire to kind of set direction, set strategy. And we've tried to provide a kind of drag and drop facility for doing exactly that. So setting up your quarters, setting up your months, setting up your release schedule, and then kind of organizing your strategic delivery along those lines. So it's really about kind of laying out visually, where you're going to be headed over the next quarter, years, or quarter, months, years, whatever the case may be. And then specifically, inside of project workspaces, for example, the real, beauty of that is simply to, and this has been something that we've gotten feedback on time and time again, is, in order to adopt Agile throughout the enterprise, teams invariably want to kind of control their own workflow, control their own process, and manage it at a level, yet not lose visibility across the enterprise. So that's the real uniqueness associated with this. And then, in terms of reporting and analytics, giving a much better facility for roll-up reporting across programs and things like that.
All right. So I think I heard the word road mapping in your release. So what's the benefit for road mapping for an organization?
So as I said, really the roadmap facility is there. Nice drag and drop. Historically, what teams have done is very typically use Visio, Excel, or even PowerPoint to kind of lay out, visually where they're headed as an organization. And while nice facilities for doing so, not real tightly integrated into the life cycle of the project. So the real benefit there, the real value to teams is to tightly integrate that nice visual drag and drop facility that so many of those tools provide, but integrated into the context of the overall project and software lifecycle, so that I can directly tie, my roadmap to my epics, to my stories, to my themes, and make sure that as we, are building whatever it is that so many teams are off building in terms of the software development, is that it's aligned with the strategy that they've laid out from an executive or management standpoint. And so what we're really out there trying to do is replace that disintegration with a nice visually integrated environment that ties the entire life cycle together, kind of from inception to delivery.
All right. So, a lot of people are trying to adopt Agile outside of just the software development area. So how does VersionOne support organizations that are trying to move Agile outside of development?
That's a great question, Patrick. What we've really done is we've got a number of different release editions of our product, And specifically, our ultimate release is designed exactly for that. So the real differences, the real value adds within our ultimate release revolve around kind of extending Agile outside of the kind of core development lifecycle. So for example, road mapping, which I just spoke of, is extending Agile outside of the dev team, out into the management team, into the executive team. In addition, for example, direct customer collaboration, something that Agile has always promoted. And about a year ago, we delivered an idea management platform that directly allows me to go out and create customer forums and allow them to provide feedback, input, collaborate with, and prioritize kind of what's going on from their standpoint that can drive my innovation. So there's customer collaboration, there's executive management direction, and then we even get into a couple of the additional capabilities inside of our Ultimate Edition revolve around testing. So you want to tightly integrate the QA team into the model, and that's exactly what our testing facilities do in terms of acceptance tests, and regression tests. And then lastly, a really nice analytics platform for basically slicing the data however you want to. So instead of kind of imposing, we've got 50 or 60 canned reports, and invariably we have customers that want to be able to slice and dice data their own way. And so we've basically built roll your own, built from scratch custom reporting facility for them to do exactly that. And so what that's doing is just extending Agile, the visibility into the Agile project outside into those various constituents, and making sure that kind of everybody's operating off the same page.
Great. It's good to hear that kind of support going on. So can you give me a little bit of a preview on what you guys got going on in the horizon?
So I guess so. One of the other things that we're very excited about, which is not directly tied to the product, but which is trying to kind of extend our traction out in the community. We've done some great things out in the community. We've partnered with you guys out in the community. We've got our own little mini conferences called Agilepalooza. We've got some tool conferences, Agile in Actions. We've got our own webinar series called Agile Live. And now one of the things that we're kind of deploying to tie it all together is kind of an open community platform with some of the best content that's out there. So just kind of trying to, for the aspiring and or practicing Agilists, to kind of give them a little bit of a platform for coming out. We've got something integrated called the Agile Coach, where they can kind of go and get process-related information around chartering and road mapping and epics and themes and iteration planning and all the basics of Agile, as well as trying to kind of provide them guidance on here are the various user groups, here's the various websites, here's the various online media portals, and making sure that trying to make sure that navigating these complex Agile waters is a little bit easier than it is today. We're very excited about that. It's called the Agile Sherpa. It launches this week as well. And it's really our attempt to kind of bring a number of things together, including promoting some of our own activities, webinars. And so we're kind of referring to it internally as it called the project name internally as the Sherpa. And it wouldn't just let loose. So that's the ultimate deployed platform, or the URL, and looking forward to get some really good feedback from the industry on that. A couple of the things that it includes, some training, event announcements, training announcements. The opportunity there is that as a kind of a self-service platform for consultants, trainers, event folks, and even vendors to be able to post their information and have kind of a single place to go to kind of find out what's the next training class in my region, what's the next event in my region, what's the latest news that I may need to track. So again, the Agile Sherpa, very excited about that, as much as we are the product, and looking forward to seeing what happens there.
Well, it's great. Can't wait to see that for sure.
Yeah, thanks.
So thanks for joining me as always, and look forward to seeing the product and the Agile Sherpa as well. So thanks for joining me again today.
Appreciate it, Patrick. Always enjoyed it.
And this has been Agile Talk. For more information about VersionOne, you can find them on the web at version1.com.